This is Dr. Bats.
Paz Simpson, aka the Happiness Engineer.
Michael Serrano, community member.
And we're here to talk to you about winning.
Yes.
I put a quote up yesterday on social media that I got a lot of feedback about and I got a lot of flack about. And the quote was, "Truth is, most people play not to lose. I want to play to win." So we're here to talk with two powerful community members, leaders in our community, about what does it look like to train, develop, and educate the youth and the parents in our community around winning, playing to win versus playing not to lose. Gentlemen?
I'll go first. First of all, playing to win means to first and foremost know what you want out of life. You can't even win if you don't know what you want. A lot of us are playing just to survive because we're basing our things on what other people want. You may not want the Lexus. You may actually want the BMW. You may not want the house. You may want the apartment. You need to know what your desires are, what your passion is first. Then you can decide what winning feels like to you. You know, most of us are letting somebody else define a win for us. You know, I like big women. You gonna tell me that skinny girl, is my win? Nah, that's not my win. I like a cushion when I go to sleep. So I know my win. I know what I'm looking for. So what is this? I think it starts there.
To touch base on what Paz said, I also think winning it will start here.
Yes.
It has to start here mentally. I'm a firm believer of the book The Secret. Awesome book, one of the best books I've ever read. And the secret is it must start here. You have to train a thought. It must always start with the train of thought. So if you want to win, okay, we know winning is light, winning is positivity. So we must redirect our thoughts, because oftentimes we come from these places, like Paz said, where every day we just surviving. We trying to struggle, surviving the struggle every day, overcoming things that come our way on the regular. So we need to redirect our thoughts. We need to, every time something comes where we're like, I can't do that, I'm not going to be able to do that, I'm not going to get that job, I don't qualify, I'm not there. Right away, that train of thought right there is not winning. You automatically going to the negative, and our brains is just wired to go negative. So we have to be aware, we have to be conscientious and say to ourselves, no, I can win. I am going to apply for that job. I'm going to win. And that's where it must start, because the train of thought is what's going to help you win. And make sure you let that light shine. Let that light shine. The light will shine through the dark, and let it shine.
So I'm hearing we have to identify what our goals are, we have to identify what winning is, and then I'm hearing we have to formulate positive thinking in our mind. We have to know that we can overcome, and through personal experience, I know that that's possible. The other thing that I've realized is winning happens in increments.
Yes.
We have to have small wins. We have to learn to celebrate our successes.
Yes,
absolutely. Small goals every day.
Goals. We oftentimes will celebrate our failures,
yes,
but we don't celebrate our successes, our small everyday successes.
Yeah.
So what would that look like as a community? Because what I find is we live in a community of scarcity, where people really think there's not enough, but there's an abundance.
Oh, yes.
There is.
There's an abundance.
An quiet abundance.
I think what it comes down to too is a feeling of worth. So my personal manifesto is I love me. I'm worthy.
Absolutely.
Some people may not like me, but I don't care, because the people that matter will be glad that I'm here. Right?
Say that again.
I love me.
I love me.
I'm worthy.
I'm worthy.
Some people may not like me.
Some people may not like me,
but I don't care.
But I don't care.
Because the people that matter.
Because the people that matter
will be glad that I'm here.
Will be glad that I'm here. I need to adopt that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because once you realize that when you walk in a room, my mother always told me, if you're in a room, you belong there. Now find out who you belong to talk to. Not everybody in that room was supposed to speak to you. And we went around trying to speak to everybody. There was probably just one person you needed to connect with. And that one person could have changed the whole trajectory of your life.
So we call that presumed welcome.
Yes.
People say, how did you go from the block to the boardroom? How do you enter these spaces? How do we mingle with these people? Because I know I belong. I know they need me in that space. I know that there are talents and skills that only I possess that I can bring to that space, right? So I'm talking to you guys. Both of you guys are very successful in your own right and in your own work. But what about the person that hasn't felt success? What about the person that hasn't won yet? Mike, tell us a little bit about how do we start there? How do we meet people where they're at? They failed a couple classes. They're behind in their bills. They had a repo.
That was me. So that was me. Again, that was me. And oftentimes it was I had a bleak outlook. And again, my train of thought back to that was just the feel of hopelessness, and without mentors, without the good people in my life. And forget about, I didn't care about those other people that had something bad to say. Those good people that I know I needed to surround myself around so that they could fill me and we can fill each other. Like it says, iron sharpens iron.
That's right.
So if we need to be pillars to the community, we need to be shoulders for other people to lean on. As a community, we need to stick together and be as a whole. And oftentimes we see in the community, people are just worried about themselves and saying, oh, that's not me, or I'm not worried about that. So I think collaboration, everything that the PNLV staff and everybody that has been trying to become, I think it's been great. I really do.
So how do you get out the muck? That's what I want you to say.
Okay, how do you get out the muck?
How do you get out the muck?
First of all, kick away the apostrophe T. It does not exist, right? This is the last time we're going to use apostrophe T. What I mean is it's a crutch that holds you up and holds you back. So every time you say I can't, you already tricked yourself. Every time you say I won't, you already won't. You know, every time you say I don't, so we only speak in affirmatives. I will do, I can do, I have done. And 3 words that you need to eliminate from your vocabulary, right? They're really conjunctions, but we use it as one word. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Get rid of those. Those are things that will hold you hostage. I shoulda did this. No, you shouldn't have. Because if you should have, you would have done it. I coulda did this. No, you couldn't have. Because if you could have, you would have done it. Stop beating yourself up for yesterday.
Yeah.
Learn
absolutely.
to forgive yourself and to love yourself. Every mistake you made was part of making you who you are right now.
A lesson or a blessing.
You know, it's all a lesson or a blessing. I love that you said that, right? Because what Les Brown says is success is just going from failure to failure to failure without losing steam. But along that path, you have to learn to love and forgive yourself. You know, if we held ourselves hostage, I wouldn't even be able to sit next to this brother. My first understanding of this brother, we met right behind through a cameraman that we no longer associate ourselves with, and I cut him off without even giving him a fair shake. I was like, anyone connected to him gotta go. But I watched the brother work hard. I watched his work, and I showed up, and I said, hey, I'll stand by you. You know, and now we're walking hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder.
So I'm hearing over here, I'm hearing about teamwork. You know, you're talking about you can't do it alone.
Yes.
You know, I always say healing occurs in relationships and community. Excellence occurs in relationships in community. We can't do this alone. You're talking about that also. You're also talking about forgiveness. I hear you nod your head. You know, there's this self-love and this self-forgiveness that has to happen. You know, we make mistakes throughout the journey.
Mm-hmm.
We make mistakes throughout the journey.
That's what builds us.
That's what builds us. And we stand on those, and we remove the shame. I mean, I've made some major mistakes.
As have I.
Some critical ones.
As have I.
And the interesting thing is, as I grow as a leader, as I grow in my work in this community, as I grow in my work internationally, there are people that want to define me by my past. So when we talk about winning, there are people that want us to lose so bad that they won't focus on the work that we're doing now. They'll focus on who we used to be. They won't focus on who we are now. They'll focus on what we once did.
And that's when my personal manifesto comes in, right? Because those that really matter ain't gonna focus on that. The people that are gonna focus on my past are people who aren't gonna help my future anyway. And let me repeat that for you. The people who are gonna focus on my past wasn't gonna help my future anyway, and they're presently in the way. They're presently in the way. So how I deal with that is anyone that sees me for who I am right now, we can always meet in a common ground. My brother here's a Muslim. I am not, but we can find more commonalities than we can find differences, right? Because we all have 10 toes, 10 fingers, 2 eyes, 2 ears. There are more commonalities, but we have to learn that if someone doesn't want us around, thank you. Your loss, not mine. I have value.
I have value.
You know, I have value.
All right, close us out, Mike. What do you want to give the folks to take us home?
All right, I just want to say, thank you for all I want to thank PNLV, Dr. Bats, Past Simpson here for all the doors they've opened for me to come in and join and help. If you guys want to reach out to us, we have more than enough events, more than enough space for collaborations, for any of that. And we're just trying to get the community together and be safe out here. And that's what we all want.
Thank you, Mike. And just so you guys know, Michael is our accountant. When we first met, I asked him, how did he learn this? How did he learn to understand QuickBooks? How How did he get? I mean, because numbers is not my thing. How did he get this grasp that he has that I haven't seen in most people, an understanding of the financial matters of an organization? And the man said to me, "What did you say?"
I've been counting money since I was 11 years old.
Counting money since I was 11 years old. So what I want to close out with is learn your strength, learn your talents. The same talents that you had in the street are what you've brought into the corporate world. It's just that you're legitimate now, right?
Absolutely.
We are brilliant. There's a brilliance in our community. There are levels of success that we've achieved through our perseverance.
And strength that came
strength.
along with it.
Bring that same passion and that same strength. My mother used to tell me, Mama Bats, you always hear me talk about it. She said, the day that you put half the energy into doing right that you put into doing the wrong, you'll save the world.
Amen.
Amen.
The day that you put half the energy into doing right that you put in the wrong, you'll save the world.
I had
Paz,
quite a few
bring us
people
home,
say
baby.
the same thing.
All right. Love yourself.